11 years ago, I started having some very strange dreams. I call them dreams, but really they're something more like being in between waking and sleeping, more of an intense dreamy state than an actual dream. And when I have one of these dreams, I wake up feeling like I've lost something. When they first started, the dream was that I'd lost my wedding rings. I would even wake up sometimes in the middle of searching my closet shelf for my rings, which of course were right there where I left them. Other times I wake up feeling like I've forgotten something. Sometimes it's a living thing, like a pet or a baby that I've forgotten to care for or feed, and now it's dying due to my neglect. Sometimes I've forgotten to do some important paperwork or take some sort of a pill or complete some other task that's absolutely essential. The forgotten thing always seems to be buried deep in my closet. So the dreams have taken different shapes over the years, but I always wake with an intense sensation and panic that I've lost something or forgotten something that is very important. I always wake up feeling very unsettled and like clarity is always just out of reach. A few months ago, I had the opportunity to get some wonderful insight into these dreams. One of my friends is highly intuitive. You might think of her as a medium or a psychic. She's able to communicate with her soul guides. In fact, they will even come through and talk to us directly. So after she was brave enough to share her gifts with me, and we become close, I had this niggling feeling, like a tap, tap, tap on my shoulder, that I should ask her about my dreams. And so I did. This is exactly what her guides said to me. Apparently, they'd just been waiting for me to ask. Here's what they said. This is the amygdala part of your brain triggering off a series of flashing, OMG, I forgot this moments, getting your attention just before or during sleep when there's room for the message to get through. This is about forgetting to be you, forgetting who you were born to be, forgetting that you are worthy of love, connection, and success. This is a message from your soul, but triggered by your amygdala, the fight or flight part of your brain. Your role, if you choose to accept it, the guides are quite cheeky, is to remember who you were born to be, not the person you think you need to be in order to be loved, successful, or spiritual, or worthy. This doesn't mean that you need to leave behind who you are now or how you walk through the world. What it means is coming back to who you were and had decided to be before you arrived. This time before and just after birth, when the purest and most clear intentions are made for your journey here. Think of these dreams as your alarm clock, going off regularly to remind you to go with your heart and listen to your soul, to hear the call and go wherever it's taking you. So, whether you are into the notion of psychic intuition and soul guides, or you're not, I think the message here is still so important. Do you remember who you were born to be? Do you remember what you were born to do? Can you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? When I received this message about my dreams, well, it all made sense. I had lost myself. I'd forgotten who I was born to be. I'd forgotten to take care of something very important, something that was neglected and hidden away. Myself, my soul, my inner spark. And so my quest became finding my purpose, my soul's true purpose, my light. And I did indeed learn many practical strategies and tools for honing in on my purpose, getting clarity on the work that I'm here to do, igniting my light. And I'd love to share them with you sometime. But and I know this is going to sound like a cliche, what I discovered is that your purpose is not actually a destination. Your purpose is, in fact, the journey. It's a bit like that spiral staircase inside of the lighthouse. If you can imagine standing inside on that staircase, as you take each step, new steps appear. The next becomes clear, and each step we take brings us closer to the light at the top of the lighthouse, closer to who we are meant to be and what we are meant to do here. That is the journey that we're here to take. And when we don't, when our steps feel heavy or dark, take us away from our light, our purpose, and away from who we're here to be, those are the times we feel a strong sense of dissatisfaction in life. When we don't feel lit up from within, or we feel like we're just kind of going through the motions. Maybe you can recognize times in your life when you felt like this. Maybe you even started having some weird dreams. Or you noticed some other way that your inner soul was tapping you on your shoulder, trying to get your attention. Looking back, I can see now that my dream started when I was faced with going back to my teaching career after I'd been on maternity leave. I remember now that at that time I felt called to do something else, like there was something I was meant to do next, though I had no idea what it was, and no one in my life who really understood what I was experiencing or feeling. So that choice was really scary for me. I ended up moving to the other side of the world as a way to escape making a choice about what to do in my life. And that, of course, led me on a crazy path to where I am right now. For me, building my business has been my path to my purpose. It's both how I've found my purpose and also how I share my purpose with the world, how I own my light. But I believe that we can each find and fulfill our soul's purpose or ignite our light in many ways. Through our work or career, volunteerism or charity work, or work in your community, by exploring hobbies, interests, talents, passion, creativity, through our relationships with partners, family, and friends, or simply by taking care of ourselves, our children, or a home. You can find your purpose via any path that calls to you. The important thing is that you are taking those steps on your journey. You are doing, exploring, playing, and seeking, not just waiting for your purpose to reveal itself, not just waiting for your light to ignite. One of my all-time favorite books is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. It's a wonderful fable that describes a boy's journey to finding his purpose, or his treasure, as it's called in the book. One of my favorite passages in the book is this: remember that wherever your heart is, that is where you will find your treasure. You've got to find your treasure so that everything you've learned along the way can make sense. It's what we're here to do. For me now, when those lost and forgotten dreams come along, and yeah, they still do, I wake up and say, okay, I got the message. Because I know that it's that internal alarm clock cluing me in to my own inertia. I can often pinpoint what it is that I'm not listening to, what I'm afraid of or avoiding, where I'm simply hiding or waiting. It reminds me that my job is to seek my purpose, to ignite my light. Your life is trying to tell you something. Are you listening? Our purpose here in this lifetime is to take the journey, to ignite and own and shine our light in the world. But what is the light? Well, light is simply energy. It is the energy of joy, peace, love, authenticity, and growth. Pursuing these things in your life is your purpose. So what lights you up? What fills you with those light feelings of joy, peace, love, authenticity, and growth? What feels light? You know, instead of dark and heavy or stagnant and dreary. What are your gifts? Your superpowers? You know, the stuff that you're here to do more of in the world. What sort of future do you want? What are your big dreams for yourself? Where do you want this journey to take you? Who are you being right now? Who do you want to be? And why? Because, you know, your why is what drives you down this road instead of feeling like you are pushing all of the time. I believe that when we explore these questions with joy and love, that's when we are living our purpose, living on purpose. And when we find the answers, or we even just get closer to our answers, that's when we feel ignited, lit up from the inside out. So please, never forget, you do have a light to shine. I promise you. Your life matters. Your light is significant. When you have doubts, when that voice in your head whispers, who am I to do this? Who am I to explore my path or seek out my purpose? I want you to flip your thinking and ask instead, who am I not to? Because for those people who don't live a life that lights them up, it isn't really much of a life at all. So really, who are you not to? And so what now of my strange dreams? Well, as I mentioned, when I have one of those dreams, I know now that it's my soul trying to tell me something. And I think we all get messages in all sorts of ways. Dreams, music, stories, messages in our social news feed, people showing up in our lives, books falling off the shelf, so to speak. It's just a matter of whether we are open to receiving these messages, to paying attention to that tap, tap, tap on your shoulder, to hearing the call and exploring where it may lead, and taking the next steps on your journey. It's about expanding how you see yourself and what you're here to do in your life, giving yourself permission to explore it. Are you open? Are you ready? Will you remember to listen to your soul? Recently, I've had a new dream. In this new dream, there's a magic ring or some kind of magic elixir waiting for me on that shelf in my closet. And yes, I still wake up searching that damn shelf. But with this new ring or elixir, the sense I get is that I just have to activate it somehow, because it's got special properties, superhero properties, that will help me and help others too. And so I continue to seek my purpose. I figure the more I keep exploring who I am in the world and the work that I'm here to do, the closer I am to activating that magic, those superpowers. This is indeed my path to my purpose, the journey that I'm here to take. The late and incredible Wayne Dwyer once shared a very important message. Do not let your music die inside you. I'd like to tweak that a little today and implore, please do not let your light be lost or forgotten or hidden inside you. Light up. It's what you were born to do.